For the past few years, artificial intelligence has felt like, well, like an exciting but maybe optional side project for many organizations.
Right.
They've been experimenting, running some isolated pilots, maybe launching a customer service chatbot here or there. But that phase it's over.
It's completely over. With the massive, just accelerating leaps we've seen recently, particularly in generative AI, the whole market has shifted.
It's no longer a conversation about experimentation. It feels like we're in a mandatory era of genuine strategic transformation. The pressure on executives to move AI from, I guess, the laboratory into the foundational architecture of the business has just never been higher.
That's the critical distinction right there.
Yeah.
The conversation has matured from a purely technical question, can our data scientists build an AI model,
Yeah.
to a much bigger strategic one.
Which is?
How do we build a cohesive enterprise-wide AI practice that is scalable, that's repeatable, and most importantly, is fundamentally linked to driving measurable positive business outcomes?
And that transformation is exactly what we are deep diving into today. We've been really immersed in a comprehensive framework, one designed specifically for business leaders and the C-suite. So we're going to be skipping the specifics of the underlying code or the algorithms. Our mission here is to provide a structured, executive-level blueprint for designing an AI strategy that is not just functional, but scalable, sustainable, and directly, uncompromisingly aligned with corporate strategy and day-to-day business execution.
And what stands out immediately in the source material we've been looking at is this necessity of handling the dual nature of AI innovation inside a big company. It's a two-way street.
What do you mean by dual nature?
Well, you have innovation driven by the top-down mandate. That's a CEO or the executive leadership declaring a differentiation mandate, basically saying, we must be the market leader and we will fundamentally transform this industry using AI.
So that's the big, strategic, fast-moving vision.
Exactly. It sets the direction. But that mandate, that high-level directive, needs to connect with the often much slower, more practical, bottom-up innovation that bubbles up from the technical teams.
Ah, right. So they're talking about the data science team that's been working for months on a specific model.
Precisely. That's the dedicated data science team that, after 6 months of really intense work, successfully creates a highly predictive model, let's say a sophisticated algorithm for early supplier risk detection that can save millions in disruption costs.
Okay, so they built it. That's great.
But the true organizational challenge isn't just building that one model. It's figuring out how to take that grassroots isolated innovation and actually operationalize it. How do you scale it across the entire supply chain? How do you integrate it with the existing ERP architecture? And how do you do all of that while simultaneously ensuring every single step is legally compliant and ethically responsible?
So the strategy isn't just a list of cool projects. It's a harmonization engine. It has to manage both the speed of that executive vision and the meticulous detail of the technical execution.
That's it. The goal is programmatic sustainability and strategic value creation.
That sounds like a monumental task, honestly, riddled with pitfalls. Okay, so let's unpack this. Before we even get into the complexities of the strategy, we need to ground this in practical reality. What can AI actually do for the business today? What are the engines of value that justify this entire strategic overhaul?
That's the perfect launch point. And the white paper is really clear on this. While we are only scratching the surface of AI's potential, we don't even know what breakthrough is coming next year, we do have a clear understanding of the immediate tangible value that AI can deliver across the existing enterprise architecture right now.
All right, let's transition then and focus on that. The sheer breadth of practical AI use cases. To start broad, the source identifies use cases that are inherently cross-functional. These are the universal utilities that can span the entire organization, whether you're sitting in finance, HR, or manufacturing.
This is the layer that offers that immediate democratized value across the whole employee base. You can think of it as enhancing fundamental business literacy and speed.
Okay, so give me some examples.
A key example would be the deployment of digital assistants for both employees and external customers. And these aren't just simple rule-based bots anymore. They offer conversational analytics.
Conversational analytics, meaning I can just ask it a question in plain English.
Exactly. It allows stakeholders to use natural language to query massive, complex data sets and get instant answers where, historically they might have waited days for someone to run a report.
And that speed of insight is just critical. We also see universal functions like sentiment analysis, right? Which can be deployed across social media, customer service transcripts, even internal employee surveys.
giving you real-time monitoring of public perception or internal feedback loops. And of course, data analysis automation, which is essentially just speeding up the rate at which human analysts can generate and then act on complex insights.
And I'm guessing the core predictive functions fall in here too.
Of course. Things that feed directly into the strategic themes we'll get into shortly, so predictive pricing models, personalized recommendations for sales, and sophisticated knowledge management systems that can surface the single authoritative answer from thousands of internal documents.
Right. And process optimization and automation also fall here, making sure workflows that touch multiple departments like order to cash or procure to pay are seamless.
Exactly. Efficient and seamless.
Okay, now let's drill down into some core business functions. This is where we can see the immediate, demonstrable value proposition department by department, proving AI is not some centralized novelty. Let's start with supply chain and procurement. That's an area where efficiency and resilience are just paramount.
Oh, absolutely. And we are so far beyond simple package tracking now.
I'd imagine so.
In the supply chain, AI is all about predictive foresight and microscopic quality control. One of the most critical use cases is the early detection of supplier risks.
So this isn't just flagging a late delivery.
Not at all. It means predicting potential disruptions weeks in advance by analyzing things like geopolitical news, commodity price fluctuations, historical weather patterns, even the supplier's financial health indicators.
So you're moving organizations from reactive damage control to proactive mitigation.
That's the goal.
And the physical world applications are just fascinating. We are talking about quality assurance using audio and visual inspection right on the assembly line or in the warehouse.
Yes, AI models analyzing images or even sounds to catch subtle defects that are basically invisible to the human eye, ensuring high standards before products even leave the facility.
That level of real-time inspection must change the cost of quality fundamentally.
It does. And beyond that, you have the optimization of traditional functions, highly accurate demand prediction, which directly reduces warehousing costs and minimizes stockouts. You have optimized route planning, real-time inventory visibility, and dynamic production scheduling that can adapt immediately to disruptions. It's all about resiliency and efficiency.
And procurement also gets a pretty significant strategic uplift from this.
Indeed. Procurement shifts from being transactional to being truly strategic. AI provides insightful supplier evaluation and continuous predictive risk management of your whole vendor ecosystem. It enables advanced guided buying for employees, making sure they select the right pre-approved vendors and compliant contracts automatically.
And what about the generative capabilities?
Well, thanks to generative AI, we see efficient contract analysis and even the generation of draft contracts that are personalized, compliant with relevant laws, and effective. It provides real-time insights into your procurement network with predictive alerts on contract renewal or performance issues.
Okay, let's move over to finance. The core concern there is always financial accuracy and foresight, right? Making sure the executive team has no unwelcome surprises on the balance sheet.
Precisely. In finance, AI is the engine of speed and accuracy. Use cases include sophisticated, granular cash flow forecasting. And I mean going way beyond simple historical averages to incorporate predictive models of customer payment behavior and supply chain fluctuations.
So it's much more dynamic.
It is. And AI ensures accuracy in complex functions like purchase order accruals and automates mundane tasks like invoice data extraction and validation, which can radically speed up the month-end close.
And what about risk mitigation within finance? That seems like a huge area.
It's indispensable there. AI is crucial for high-volume financial reconciliation and for generating insightful, context-aware financial reporting that can highlight anomalies instantly. But most importantly, it's used for analyzing contract terms across sales, manufacturing, procurement, and HR, providing legal compliance alerts tied to those contracts.
So you're catching potential compliance issues or unfavorable terms before they translate into a major financial liability.
Before they become a lawsuit.
Exactly. Next up is human resources. Historically, HR was often viewed as a cost center focused on admin, but AI seems to be shifting it into a true engagement and efficiency engine, managing the most critical resource, the talent.
Is optimizing the entire talent lifecycle, starting right at recruitment. We see advanced, insightful, and automated candidate screening.
Okay, but that specific use case comes with a big warning label, doesn't it? The risk of bias, the need for transparency.
It absolutely does, and that's something we have to address later under governance. It's non-negotiable. But beyond screening, HR also leverages personalized recommendations in learning management systems, guiding employees to relevant training for their career path, efficient resource and staffing management, and overall talent management optimization.
That seems like a massive lift for employee engagement, which, directly impacts retention.
It really does. You can boost employee engagement through digital assistants that handle self-service portals and automated payroll queries, which frees up HR staff for more strategic work. AI also processes personalized employee surveys and captures feedback, automatically synthesizing responses and recommending actionable steps to management. It creates a continuous proactive loop for improving workplace culture.
Okay, moving to customer experience. This is maybe the most visible application externally, evolving from basic customer service to providing true hyper-personalization at scale.
This is the realization of what's often called the predictive customer 360. AI drives intelligent customer insights and contextual, hyper-personalized activation. It's moving beyond simple segmentation to understanding the individual's immediate needs.
So it generates smart product and service recommendations, but also, critically, performs predictive functions.
Yes, like anticipating customer behavior and identifying high-risk accounts that are likely to churn, which allows for targeted intervention before you lose them.
So it's not just about knowing what the customer did in the past, it's about predicting what they will do next.
Exactly. This involves customer profile enrichment, integrating data from every single touchpoint, and generating content from marketing copy to targeted ads that is seamless, predictive, and designed to provide an efficient customer-for-life level of service support.
Finally, we have to look inward at information technology itself. AI isn't just a service IT provides to the business, it's also optimizing the tech stack that runs the business.
The IT organization is benefiting immensely from automation and intelligence. Key use cases include new code generation AI, actually drafting code based on requirements, and existing code correction and optimization, which dramatically speeds up development cycles and reduces bugs. We also see intelligent IT monitoring and issue management, often referred to as AI ops.
AI ops, okay, that's a critical piece of jargon we should probably define for the executive listener.
Definitely. AI ops, or artificial intelligence for IT operations, is essentially teaching your complex technology stack to monitor, analyze, and even heal itself using machine learning models.
So instead of relying solely on human operators sifting through millions of log files.
AI ops spots anomalies, predicts system failures, and often initiates corrective actions before the human team even knows there's a problem. It dramatically increases system uptime and operational resilience.
That's a massive saving in operational expenditure and, frankly, risk mitigation.
And AI even manages its own lifecycle through MLOps, or AI Model Lifecycle Management, which ensures models are continuously monitored and updated, preventing performance drift. It enhances machine learning capabilities with automated ML, or AutoML, making the model building process faster and more accessible. And it enables automated change management and continuous code reviews within the development pipeline.
Plus, we see intelligent data mapping for system integrations, guiding application development using low-code, no-code setups, and critical data quality management. This really shows that AI is essential for maintaining the health and efficiency of the underlying technology infrastructure, ensuring the data the business uses is actually reliable.
And what's so fascinating here is the sheer breadth of the shift. AI is no longer a separate experimental tool you sort of bolt onto the side of an existing process.
No, it's becoming an embedded and intrinsic function.
Exactly. With every major operational department. It shows AI is no longer a specialty project, but a fundamental component of the enterprise architecture, delivering measurable value to every corner of the business, from the CFO to the supply chain technician.
That detailed look at the what perfectly sets the stage for the strategic why. I mean, if AI can do all those things, how do we measure its strategic success? Executives can't just chase shiny objects. The investment has to be traceable to the P&L statement or risk reduction. The source introduces 5 critical themes that organizations must design their entire AI practice around to ensure measurable and sustainable success, linking that strategy directly back to concrete business outcomes.
These themes are the anchor points for any major AI investment decision. I mean, if a proposed AI initiative doesn't clearly and measurably serve one of these 5 themes, it should probably be shelved or at least redesigned. It forces a certain strategic discipline.
Okay. Theme 1 is Customer Lifetime Value, or CLV. Now, we've heard about CLV for, decades? But how does AI specifically turbocharge the profitability and longevity of customer relationships in a way that traditional analytics just couldn't?
AI boosts CLV through very precise, segmentation, and prediction, and it's broken down into three main avenues. First, AI has to increase the frequency of purchase.
So that means driving both the volume more items bought per transaction and the velocity more transactions over a given period.
Right. AI predictive algorithms analyze vast historical data, including browsing patterns, external economic indicators, everything to recommend the optimal purchase timing and product mix for that specific customer.
And the second area is increasing the value of sales per transaction. This is where AI moves beyond just suggestive selling to true dynamic pricing power.
Absolutely. Dynamic pricing, integrated in real time right into the sales processes, allows the system to calculate advanced margins instantaneously. It can increase the sales price per unit without compromising your competitive differentiation because the price is perfectly contextualized to that specific customer, their history, and the current market conditions.
And this is highly reliant on sophisticated upselling and cross-selling capabilities, all powered by predictive algorithms that identify the right higher value product at the perfect moment. A level of granularity humans just can't match at scale.
Exactly.
And the third avenue is improving profitability or margin by driving a lower cost to serve. This sounds less glamorous, but I bet it often has the largest impact on the net margin.
Oh, it does. Historically, lowering costs focus on production or raw material sourcing. And while that's still important, AI allows for radical reductions in the cost to serve from a customer experience standpoint.
Can you give an example?
Sure. Think of a seamless, integrated customer experience platform that is completely connected to the supply chain and ERP systems. When a customer self-services an inquiry and the AI routes the answer or resolution instantly without any human intervention, the cost per interaction just drops dramatically.
Right. And enabling advanced omnichannel self-service commerce and innovative business models like automatically managed subscriptions, that improves margins by creating efficient, sticky revenue streams.
Reslice.
Theme 2 is essential, but often represents a strategic blind spot for a lot of C-suites who are hyper-focused only on external revenue metrics. Employee and supplier productivity and satisfaction. Why must this be a core theme for an AI strategy?
Well, the document really stresses that business leaders who are too busy looking outwards at customers, shareholders, public perception often compromise the internal stakeholders that generate that value in the first place.
The employees and suppliers.
Right. AI practices must focus on enhancing employee and supplier engagement and, crucially, curbing attrition in highly specialized technical or high-value roles. I mean, the cost of replacing an experienced engineer or a data scientist is astronomical.
So this is about mitigating a massive financial and knowledge risk, not just creating a nice place to work.
Exactly. The tactics here include reducing risks and vulnerabilities, like that predictive supplier risk detection we mentioned, balancing employee workloads for optimal scheduling and performance, and enhancing and enriching supplier capabilities.
How does AI enhance a supplier's capabilities?
By using AI to identify inefficiencies and bottlenecks in the supply chain, you don't just optimize your own process, you help your suppliers become better integrated and more valuable partners.
And this theme also incorporates a strong internal governance angle.
It has to. It includes ensuring fair and responsible practices regarding personnel decisions, facilitating equitable and fair negotiation and payment terms for suppliers, and establishing continuous feedback mechanisms to build a positive culture. AI can facilitate those procedures, for example, by ensuring fairness in shift allocation, or by identifying language in contracts that could disproportionately affect a smaller supplier.
So the strategy defines the goals of fairness and responsibility, and the AI model enforces them at scale.
That's the idea.
Theme 3 is process automation and efficiency, but as we saw in the use cases, AI takes this far beyond the simple robotic process automation we've seen over the last decade.
It moves into the realm of intelligent prediction and deep context. We're talking about AI-powered chatbots for sophisticated robotic process automation that can handle conditional logic and complex data retrieval. It provides real-time decision support for human operators, offering process enhancement recommendations right on the fly.
And crucially, AI enables adaptive data extraction, data anomaly detection, and AI-driven data enrichment.
Meaning the processes themselves are constantly learning and improving.
That sounds less like automation and more like the enterprise is becoming a kind of self-optimizing organism.
That's a great way to put it. Key examples here include process behavior prediction, anticipating bottlenecks or failures in a complex workflow, like a major ERP system, before they actually happen. It also enables sophisticated continuous fraud detection capabilities across transactions.
And the data feeding all this.
AI-managed data pipelines ensure that the underlying data flow feeding these processes is always context-aware, clean, and constantly being optimized. It takes enterprise process efficiency to a whole new level of reliability and speed.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting for the top line. Theme 4, business revenue growth. This is the explicit engine driving that expansion, and it's broken down into 3 key work streams that executives have to adopt.
The first work stream is creating frictionless journeys and experiences. In the modern economy, customers, employees, partners, they all expect instantaneous contextual engagement across all channels. If your competitor offers a simpler, faster path to purchase or resolution, you lose.
So omnichannel experience is completely non-negotiable.
To achieve this, organizations must perfectly integrate their physical and digital channels to provide contextual experiences using real-time customer preferences, historical interactions, and predictive analytics.
And this requires state-of-the-art sales lead-to-cash solutions. We're talking about complex systems where AI orchestrates the entire process, right?
The whole thing, nurturing leads, accurately configuring complex product solutions, the C in CPQ or configure, price, quote, ensuring the quote is accurate and tailored, and finally, managing the order fulfillment accurately and efficiently. That entire orchestration, powered by AI to remove manual input and error, is crucial for a frictionless journey that converts leads rapidly.
The second work stream is driving recurring revenue. So many organizations are realizing the immense long-term value of moving away from a transactional sell and forget practice to focusing intensely on subscription, utilization, and ensuring customers adopt and use the product continuously.
Success in this space is measured by increasing lifetime value through subscription-based models and achieving sustainable recurring value, often measured as net revenue retention, or NRR.
And AI helps accelerate this top-line growth how?
By predicting when an existing customer is likely to expand their use, identifying new use cases they haven't adopted yet, and facilitating net new sales through referral expansion from an already loyal customer base. The sales function morphs from simply making a one-time sale to being a solution provider and an experience expert focused on maximizing customer adoption.
And the third work stream is value fulfillment. I mean, you can promise the world, but if you can't deliver it consistently and repeatably, your growth is going to stall.
Value fulfillment is the operational glue. It absolutely hinges on seamless integration. The front office applications, those customer-facing solutions like CRM and e-commerce, must be perfectly integrated with the relevant fulfillment backend applications like ERP, supply chain, and logistics systems.
So you need an AI-orchestrated order management system that spans from generating the initial interest in marketing all the way to completing downstream processes in finance and service.
Yes, that's what's essential to ensuring consistent delivery of the promised value.
That sounds like a major challenge for organizations that have historically been plagued by internal siloing. You know, the sales team is incentivized for speed, but the logistics team is incentivized for cost reduction. AI has to somehow bridge that gap.
It does. The strategy mandates cross-division collaboration, bringing e-commerce, key account sales, marketing, and IT together across these horizontal processes to achieve a vertical uplift. AI serves as the neutral intelligence layer that optimizes the holistic outcome, not just the performance of one silo.
Finally, theme 5. Industry thought leaders and innovators. This is AI's role in future-proofing the business and achieving that market differentiation that separates the leaders from the laggards.
This is the forward-looking R&D theme. It starts with innovation exploration, research, and development. AI helps with market analysis, idea generation, and concept brainstorming by synthesizing vast quantities of external and internal data.
And crucially, it assists with feasibility assessment and predicting the viability of new concepts and possibilities before you commit significant capital.
Exactly. Novel business model ideation is huge here. If you can use AI to simulate the success and stress points of a new service or subscription model before you launch it, that represents an immense reduction in risk and a huge value creation opportunity.
And other examples include pushing the boundaries of personalization and customization to the extreme. The goal of customization for a single individual, or customization for one,
which is driven by continuous innovation facilitated by AI's ability to conduct rapid data analysis, identify nascent patterns and market shifts, and automate intricate tasks. This frees up your human capital to focus on higher-level problem-solving and strategic optimization, resulting in scalability and faster time to value for genuinely novel products and services.
So we've established the what the use cases and the why, the 5 strategic success themes. Now let's transition to the structural elements needed to actually execute all this.
Right, because AI is a new foundational capability. The strategy mandates an AI-centric organization model.
And this is the critical internal transformation. Executives have to look at their own structure and governance before they even think about buying new technology. So what defines this AI-centric organization model?
It's defined as a matrix organization, one that recognizes that AI deployment is fundamentally cross-functional and multidisciplinary. For this framework to succeed, it requires cross-functional representatives across 5 essential disciplines, all sitting together at the strategic table.
Okay, let's go through those 5 roles, which I'm sure often come with competing priorities.
First, you absolutely need executive sponsors from business leadership. These are the CXOs who define the mandate, secure the budget, and allocate the necessary human resources. Without this top-level commitment, projects will stall, period.
Second would be the line of business domain experts from various departments, the people who actually know the processes inside and out. They validate the use cases and make sure the AI solves a real, painful business problem, not just a theoretical one.
Third, and this has to be non-negotiable, the ethics, trust, and legal compliance experts. They must be embedded into the process from the moment a concept is ideated, not just called in for a checkoff after the model is built. Their role is to ensure the strategy is fundamentally responsible and defensible.
Fourth, the enterprise architect team. Their responsibility is pure operational efficiency, making sure any new AI initiative fits seamlessly into the existing technology landscape, minimizing redundancy and integration debt.
And fifth, the practical execution arm. The IT organization, AI operations, AI ops, and the data scientists. They're responsible for the technical build, the deployment, and the ongoing maintenance of the models and the platforms.
So the analysis here is really clear. AI is not just an IT or data science problem. If you only have IT and data scientists, you might get brilliant models that, I don't know, violate privacy or can't integrate with the core ERP system.
Exactly. You require governance and compliance built in from the ground up, all driven by executive buy-in.
And what happens if one of these 5 disciplines is missing from that matrix?
If the executive sponsor is missing, you have no funding and no mandate. If the domain expert is missing, you solve the wrong problem. If the legal expert is missing, you introduce catastrophic liability risk. If the enterprise architect is missing, you create technical silos that will prevent you from scaling. And if the IT and data scientists are missing, well, nothing gets built or sustained. This matrix model is a necessary organizational precondition for success.
That organizational matrix then drives the overall strategy by focusing on 4 distinct strategic pillars. These pillars encapsulate the holistic focus areas of AI deployment, showing how the organization has to deploy AI at different speeds and scales simultaneously.
Pillar 1 is line of business embedded AI. This is the critical starting point and often the fastest route to getting that initial demonstrable value and time to value.
This sounds like leveraging assets you already have.
Precisely. Most top-tier cloud solutions today, whether they manage customer relationships, finance, or supply chain, have invested heavily in native, inbuilt, out-of-the-box AI functionality. The strategy dictates that an organization must leverage these functionalities first. Why try to build a custom predictive algorithm for expense fraud when the finance system you already pay for has a high-performing embedded model you just need to activate?
So before you go build a complex custom model, just look at what your existing enterprise systems already provide. It's a strategy of intelligent prioritization.
Yes. Pillar 2 is synergy with enterprise architecture. AI innovations cannot, under any circumstances, exist in technical silos, disconnected from the core business systems. The strategy must enforce harmonization with the existing technology landscape.
I can just imagine the conflict here. A data scientist wants to use some bleeding-edge new platform, but the enterprise architect insists it has to integrate with the decades-old core data platform.
And that tension is exactly why the Matrix team exists. The enterprise architecture design acts as an essential starting point for ideating AI use cases because it immediately identifies the necessary data sources, the required integration points, and the security parameters. If an AI project can't demonstrate architectural synergy, it introduces unmanageable technical debt and integration risk, making it completely unsustainable.
Pillar 3 is transformed by large-scale programs. This is when the organization acknowledges that embedded AI or minor architectural tweaks just aren't enough. A complete overhaul is necessary.
This addresses situations that require a fundamental reinvention of a major business process. For example, a massive end-to-end transformation of the entire supply chain management process, driven by strategic themes like profitability, resiliency, and sustainability. This level of change requires a dedicated matrix team, structured governance frameworks, and a phased execution approach that, while slow and costly initially, ultimately brings disruptive changes and competitive market share gain.
These are the marathon projects.
They are. And finally, Pillar 4, the absolute foundation of responsible AI: ethics, trust, and legal compliance. This is not a technical feature, it's a critical risk mitigation layer, and it is explicitly non-negotiable.
It's the anchor against catastrophic failure.
It is. The governance team must proactively mitigate specific high-stakes risks. These include the violation of privacy, any data breach or misuse of private personal data, which carries massive regulatory fines. And we must also address transparency and explainability.
Okay, why is explainability so crucial for an executive team? It sounds like a technical detail.
It is liability protection. For example, consider the automated candidate screening in HR we talked about. If an AI program selects or rejects a candidate, the underlying reasons must be justifiable and transparent in a court of law or to a regulatory body. If you cannot explain why the AI made a decision, you are exposed to claims of discrimination or unfair practice. Explainability is a legal defense.
And we can't overlook the risk of bias, which often slips in unintentionally during the training process.
Bias mitigation is absolutely crucial. This occurs when an AI model, say for credit scoring, is trained on historical data that is skewed toward a certain demographic. If you deploy it, the model will simply perpetuate that historical injustice at a massive scale. The governance team must enforce checks to ensure training data sets are balanced and the models are fair.
And then there are the straight-up ethics concerns, like the malicious use of deep fake video technology for disinformation or fraud.
Right, and the practical risks that affect brand reputation and business operations, like unintended content.
That's when a customer-facing chatbot or generative system, without the proper guardrails, generates a script that is insensitive to the culture or nuances of a certain demography, causing a huge public backlash.
Exactly. Furthermore, the governance team has to protect the company against major financial risks related to intellectual property and copyright, like an AI-based generative art system infringing on existing copyrights when designing marketing materials.
And finally, strict legal and regulatory compliance, ensuring the AI programs factor in existing laws, whether it's privacy regulations like GDPR or CCPA, or complex internal corporate mandates like factoring in blackout dates for AI-based trading if it involves proprietary information or employee stock programs.
The takeaway from these 4 pillars is that strategy is a dynamic balancing act. You're enabling rapid adoption through embedded AI, ensuring architectural alignment to prevent technical debt, tackling major transformations when genuine reinvention is needed, and always staying grounded in ethics and law to manage liability.
So we have the strategy defined, the organizational structure, the 5 themes, and the 4 strategic pillars. Now we move from theory to execution section 4, implementation and governance flow. The document breaks this down into 3 distinct, structured work streams tailored precisely to the scale and complexity of the required change.
Right. Embedded AI, big-scale transformation, and continuous governance. These flows provide the necessary step-by-step roadmap for those cross-functional matrix teams, ensuring repeatability and control. Let's look at the quickest path first. Workstream A, the embedded AI implementation flow. This is the fast track for leveraging pre-existing functionality and getting those quick wins.
This flow sounds heavily weighted towards education and rapid adoption, basically capitalizing on the work that technology vendors have already done.
It is. It's a swift 6-step cycle designed for speed. Step 1 is learn and educate yourself. The team must map out what native, out-of-the-box AI functions are available within every line of business cloud software solution the company already subscribes to. This prevents reinventing the wheel.
Step 2 is to initiate relevant process changes necessary to fully accommodate the new AI functions. I mean, if the AI automates a workflow, the human role supporting that workflow has to change accordingly.
Step 3 sounds simple, but it's critical. Check data and readiness. If the embedded AI requires clean, structured data in a specific format, is your existing data ready? If not, the project stalls right there until data governance addresses the gap. Step 4 is the deployment. Use out-of-the-box AI functionality immediately in a pilot setting.
And step 5 is that mandatory feedback loop. See results and refine processes based on those initial quantifiable outcomes. Did the predictive pricing model increase margin by the projected amount? If so, why? If not, where did the process fail?
And finally, step 6. Adopt and scale the functionality enterprise-wide focusing on training and change management. This flow is fast because it bypasses that lengthy, expensive custom model design phase.
Okay, now for the heavy lifting. Workstream B, big scale transformation flow. The rigorous, structured approach required for fundamental, high impact changes that demand a complete reinvention of a major business process.
This is the design for the complex, strategic projects, like that total overhaul of a global manufacturing supply chain. And because these projects carry immense risk and require significant capital, the starting point is always rigorous and focused on human need, design thinking.
So you begin with understanding the human or business need, defining the jobs to be done and the painful friction points, not the technology itself.
Exactly. Then, step 2, create cross-functional teams, that matrix organization we discussed earlier, but dedicated full-time to this one major transformation program. These teams require strong executive sponsorship to resolve the inevitable conflicts between departmental silos.
Step 3 is meticulous. Define end-to-end use cases that span the entire value chain, mapping how the transformation will affect every stakeholder from the supplier all the way to the customer.
Step 4 is the technical heavy lifting. Design AI models specifically tailored for these complex, high-impact use cases. This is where the dedicated data scientists perform their core function, building, training, and validating highly sophisticated models.
And step 5 is the crucial risk mitigation step. Run prototypes. Test the AI model and the new process in a contained, non-critical environment. This is where you validate performance, integration, and compliance before you even think about committing to an enterprise-wide rollout.
And finally, step 6, be enterprise ready. This is the formal scaling of the proof of concept to the entire organization, complete with rigorous change management, extensive user training, and preparing the infrastructure for massive scale and resiliency, leveraging that MLOps team.
And it's clear that both of these work streams, A, the fast track, and B, the big scale, have to be continuously guided, monitored, and frankly, restrained by the third workstream C governance checklist flow, which ensures sustained, responsible success and manages enterprise risk.
Governance is not a one-time project completion. It's a perpetual organizational function, and the starting point for this crucial check and balance system.
It begins with forming an AI steering committee. This has to be a centralized body composed of the executive sponsors and the heads of the compliance and legal functions, responsible for the overall strategic direction, prioritization, and risk tolerance of all AI initiatives across the whole organization.
Once that's formed, step 2 is vital for ROI. Validate target business outcomes with that committee. Every single AI project, whether it's fast track or big scale, must clearly articulate its expected value creation in terms of those 5 success themes, CLV, revenue, productivity, etc., and then measure its progress against those targets continuously.
Step 3 is foundational. Ensure alignment with existing company data governance guidelines. AI models rely entirely on data. If the underlying data is poorly managed, inaccurate, or non-compliant with privacy regulations, the AI model is worthless. Or worse, it introduces massive liability. This checklist item is the link between an organization's historic data practices and its future AI success.
Step 4 brings us back to structural integrity. Validate the AI-centric architecture with overall enterprise architecture governance patterns. This prevents silos and ensures integration capability. It ensures, for example, that the new generative AI module for contract creation uses the same secure enterprise identity access management system as the financial reporting tool.
Step 5 is simple but mandatory for executives who are facing global regulations. Legal compliance. This is the final check before deployment. Has the legal team signed off on the model's use of data, its transparency mechanisms, and its adherence to regional regulations?
And step 6 is the technical backbone for sustained, safe operations at scale. Implement robust ML-AI operations, or MLOps. For the executive listener, MLOps is the industrialized system that ensures that when we put an AI model into production, it doesn't fail, it doesn't drift, and it can be updated instantly if a security flaw or performance degradation is detected.
MLOps is complex. Can we break down what those capabilities entail and why they matter so much to the business?
Certainly. MLOps is extensive, and it's mandatory for any scaled AI practice. It includes comprehensive model version control and documentation, so the organization always knows which model version is running and what data it was trained on. It involves continuous integration and continuous development, CI/CD, which means the model can be tested and updated automatically and securely, similar to how traditional software is deployed. It ensures speed and reliability.
And the CI/CD process is crucial because AI models aren't static like traditional software. They constantly need fresh data and recalibration.
Exactly. MLOps also requires model packaging and containerization, which ensures that the model can be reliably deployed consistently across different IT environments, from a cloud server to an on-premise data center.
Mhm.
It must include rigorous testing and security protocols before deployment and comprehensive infrastructure configuration code management.
But the most important part for the business, I have to imagine, is the continuous feedback and monitoring loop.
Absolutely. MLOps must include a continuous feedback mechanism. This system monitors the model in real time, checking for performance degradation or model drift. That's where the model's accuracy slowly declines as real-world data changes. If drift is detected, the MLOps system flags it, or, in some cases, automatically triggers a retraining cycle. This protects the organization from deploying a model that quietly loses accuracy, potentially causing major errors in pricing, inventory, or risk assessment.
And if we connect all these governance elements to the underlying technical architecture, what's the foundational platform required to support this entire flow?
The source makes it very clear that robust AI implementation hinges on a solid enterprise technology, data, and AI platform. You simply cannot execute the strategy without this platform in place. It has to include core architectural components that serve all five of those organizational disciplines.
So, for instance, to ensure architectural synergy and data flow.
You need an integration platform as a service, or IBS, for seamless data flow across disparate systems, connecting the CRM to the ERP, for example. You must have a robust master data platform to ensure data quality and consistency, providing a single, trustworthy source of truth for critical entities like customer or product. Without trustworthy data, the AI models are compromised from the start.
And then specifically for the AI work itself.
A dedicated data science platform is required. This is the workbench for the data scientists, including the ML/AI coding environment and robotics process automation tools. This holistic platform enables the analytics, predictions, and robotic process automation needed to make the entire strategy operational, allowing both the fast-track embedded AI and the big-scale transformation programs to function safely under the guidance of the governance committee.
This has been a necessary and, I think, very comprehensive look at the enterprise AI strategy framework. To synthesize this enormous amount of information, we've learned that the journey starts by defining quantifiable business success themes, revenue growth, CLV, productivity, which dictate why we are even using AI and what measurable results we expect.
And that strategy then requires a new collaborative foundation, a matrix organization structure involving business leaders, IT, architects, and compliance experts, all working in unison to manage those conflicting priorities.
And finally, execution doesn't happen chaotically. It happens through controlled, standardized flows, either that rapid cycle for embedded AI or the rigorous structured approach for transformative programs, all while being anchored at every single step by robust governance.
Particularly MLOps, ethical vigilance, and architectural control. The critical takeaway for you, the learner, is that the move from reactive, experimental AI use to strategic, aligned AI requires CXOs to look internally at their organizational structure, their data quality, and compliance before they look externally at technology solutions. The framework provided is a critical, proven path to navigating this complex landscape, ensuring both innovation and responsibility are built into the DNA of the practice.
Absolutely. It's about building a house strong enough with the right foundation and internal supports to not only withstand the next technological earthquake, but to actually leverage it.
This raises an important final question for you to consider. Given the extreme, acknowledged velocity of change in technology, as the source itself noted, new capabilities emerge monthly. How often must an AI steering committee be prepared to reassess and redefine its strategic pillars, especially concerning compliance and enterprise architecture synergy, to ensure continuous innovation does not simultaneously introduce unforeseen, unmanaged operational or legal risk? What stands out to you as the most critical challenge in maintaining this delicate balance between speed, control, and perpetual technological relevance? Think on that until our next deep dive.